Hey everybody, I'm Justin with Zybex. I'm here with Vanessa with Percepto Drone Center in Riviera Beach. And I'm going to let Vanessa introduce herself and give you a little bit of background about Percepto and what they do.
Thank you, Justin. As Justin said, we're here at Percepto at Riviera Beach, Florida. I'm the manager of the Remote Operations Center here. So this operation is unique and a new organization. Within Percepto, we are drone pilots that are operating drone missions all over the United States, performing inspections for oil and gas, for the oil and gas industry, looking for emissions and problems in the field so that our customers can quickly address them and avoid fines and additional problems.
Yeah, absolutely, and a very unique field to work in. Something that was even a little bit newer to us, working within a drone operations center. And today we just wanted to get a little bit of an idea about, what visions did you have for your drone operations center, and how did Zybex help you meet that vision?
Okay, so as this is a new organization and service that we're providing to our customers, we had the advantage of really designing it and building it from the ground up. So we didn't have any other centers like this in existence. So we really got to kind of just sit down and kind of draw it out and have a design session on how we envisioned the center to look and to operate. So initially, our main objectives was that we needed to maximize the space. So already currently in our headquarters, our operations headquarters, and we had one of the rooms identified that we were going to build the center in initially. And so Justin and I and his team worked together on multiple different options on how we could maximize the space in that room so that we could accommodate as many workstations and as many drone pilots as possible. So we went through that process, and midstream through the process decided that we would utilize a different room in the center, and so that's where we are today. And so we went through another iteration of designs to again maximize the space. And in addition to maximizing and being able to get as many drone pilots in the room, we also were looking for a space and an operation that would lend well to collaboration, because the pilots are flying missions of the drones on their, they're the responsible pilot for the drone, but they work very closely together. And we have a waiver with the FAA where our drone pilots can operate multiple drones at a time. So they oftentimes are working in small teams to accommodate that, where they have different roles to set up the mission and to set up the drone, and then the other party will be the pilot and execute the mission. So they work together. So this room needs to be flexible, where they can sit together, they can change desks, they can move around and be able to communicate openly and clearly with one another when they're flying together.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched a little bit on that design phase and how we went through multiple revisions and even changed a room at one point in it. And we came back out and verified the dimensions here within this space. And when we look at it, I wanted to show here some of the revisions that we went through in the beginning. Here we had 6 desks with a little bit of a mix with some dual surface and single surface. Tried a couple different layouts there, and that just didn't meet the need of what your all's operations center was going for. So we went back to our designer, Megan, who came back to the board with a second revision for you all. And this one was still in the other room.
Right.
We were like, okay, well, let's just minimize how many desks are in there. Maybe that'll help us. But again, like you mentioned, we were looking to maximize the amount of users, but still minimize the footprint as much as possible. And I think that Megan and our design team really stepped up at this point. We had a revision call and we decided, hey, we think that we have a vision now of what we can do. Let's move it to another room and let's look at a little bit different layout and how we can really make it cohesive, but allow there to be collaboration within that space. And then we came back with your final rendition here. And in this revision, this shows that we were able to fit 7 workstations in here with a supervisor's operating station here at the back and your video wall, which is here now, and the users were able to use that. And as we went through that process, something I wanted to talk to you about is what was that experience like working with Zybex throughout the design process and the sales process? And just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, so my experience is that you and the design team and the team in the background, in the back office, was extremely accommodating to all of the configuration changes that we had. So you guys were extremely flexible, and I know that there were some late nights that were pulled trying to meet deadlines for us to put in the order and try to meet our installation deadline. So I felt that the whole team went above and beyond the entire time just to make sure that the project was a success.
That's awesome. We appreciate that. And, when we're talking about things like that, something that I wanted to kind of pick your brain about is what made you choose Zybex at the end of the day? Is there one thing that stands out that makes you feel like, hey, this is what made Zybex stand out to us?
So I think the ability to really build the workstations to exactly what we needed. It's customizable down to the last detail. We're not a traditional, this isn't a call center or contact center, and it's maybe not a very traditional, operating center, if you will. So we had some specific needs, and I feel that part of it, even down to choosing the colors, of the panels, was important to us to have all that flexibility because this is a unique operating center that we have here. So that piece of it, and then just the attention to detail. I mean, we went through all of the features. You made sure that I understood every piece and every inch of the desk and all the features that would enable them to do their job as well as they can. And that was the most important part to me.
Another question I had for you, Vanessa, was obviously with you being the director of this operations, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things that had to come in, sometimes, like you said, late nights that took. What was that process like, and how do you feel like we helped that process move along?
Okay, so most importantly was, a project like this in an environment where we're, in a startup, kind of phase for this company. This is a big undertaking, and so cost was, one of the highest, priorities, if not the highest priority. So where I think your team helped is, we kind of came through with a design and had an idea of what we wanted, and then we stepped through and went through each and every item to see. And for me to have the discussion with you and the discussion with the leadership here to make sure we're making the right decisions for the investment because it was so significant for us. And so I think we went back and forth a few times on some of the items and you helped me with maybe pulling out some things that we didn't necessarily need at this time and that we could consider later, and that just helped get the project approved and for us to come in, under budget. Which was extremely important for everybody involved.
Yeah, I remember one of our last conversations over there in the conference room where we sat down and actually discussed putting the arcs on but not having the roller vision because at that time you guys didn't feel that the platform was needed, but you still wanted to have your monitors mounted and have that ability, and that helped us be able to meet that budget that you were looking for. So that's great insight to have, and we really appreciate that openness and the ability to work with us throughout the whole process.
Yes, and the monitor piece was a big part of a lot of our discussions. We thought we wanted stacked monitors. At one point, we thought we would have 4 next to one another. So you guys were really flexible and patient with that whole area of the discussion too, because that is a key part of the success of the workstation is the monitor, and for them to be able to have multiple windows and be able to see, see the map, see the drone, where the drone is flying, and have all their tools available. So that was like a critical piece, is the technology and that all, the workstation surrounding the technology that enables us to do good work.
Awesome. Something that kind of came to my brain here as we were talking was, I know that one of the final pieces we also added was your all's logo in the lit acrylic. Kind of give me how that came up and what made you all decide that, hey, we do like the logo and we want to present our logo on our furniture. And again, how has Ibex helped make that happen?
Yeah, so that was something that you had recommended, and you shared with me some other centers that had done the same installation. At first, I wasn't sure if it was, if it was over the top, if we needed it. I wasn't convinced, but then after, seeing some examples of other centers, I think that was one of the better decisions that we made, was to do the acrylic with the logo, because it's, as soon as you walk in the room, it's the first thing you see, and everybody that sees it loves it. So
Awesome.
Thank you for that recommendation and for holding my hand through it, because I wasn't convinced at first, but it was a great decision.
Another thing, when you're looking at a process like this, like we talked about, it can be cumbersome. What are some tips, tricks, and just some knowledge that you would like to share with other directors or project managers that are about to maybe put themselves in this situation?
Okay.
What are some things that you felt you learned throughout the process that really helped you through it?
Okay, so I think most importantly is to have a shared vision with your leadership of what we're trying to accomplish, what we want this room to represent, because there's many elements here. It's not only the workstations and the video wall, but also this the wall wrap that we have behind us.
Yeah.
That is going to set kind of just the feel for the room. So a shared vision with leadership, so that they understand and everybody's on the same page of what we're trying to accomplish. Get feedback from lots of different people. So not just the leadership, but across, and your peers and other groups, to get their input. But I think most importantly is to engage the team that's going to be doing the work.
Yeah.
And get their input. So
Yeah.
Quite often, people have worked in other centers, or they've worked in other work environments before. They have past experiences. Get their thoughts on the layout, on how we're designing the workstation. We did some test case or use case scenario testing with the monitors, like I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Having them stacked, having the two large monitors, one on top of each other. And just the usability of it and the feasibility, on the desk, and how you could adjust it, because they're all individuals and all have their preferences and unique ways in which they work the best.
Yeah.
So there's not one size fits all, and that's what the workstations lend to that. But you should also get their thoughts and get their input, so that they have a sense of ownership to the design and to the room.
Absolutely.
And will help them enjoy the space, more as as it's installed and after we put it into operations.
Yeah, that's great information to have. Obviously, when it comes to the operator's input, like you said, that's a big key factor in building a center like this. And from your experience, when it comes to the after effect, how do you think that the operators have responded, and how do you think that in any way has it helped them be more efficient or more effective at their operations?
Okay, yeah. So first off, just having a room that's dedicated to us, that's built for us, brings a sense of pride and motivation to the overall team, because before we're in a room that wasn't really fit to us. We had all different desks, and it just was not as well organized as this, and with all these features. So that's the first piece. But again, they have different ways of working, and some of them will utilize the standing desks sometimes. That helps, kind of break up the sitting so much, and they like to customize their lights, and different people like different colors, and so we keep that open where they can do really whatever they want in regards to that configuration, and then just having the space for everything that they need in order to operate the missions, and the way that the monitor is set up, and the backlighting, We can turn the lights off in the room if we want to, or there's some people that prefer that. And then it's still a great workspace and a work environment using the backlight and the lights of the desk. So I think overall it's just it's more conducive to efficiency and for them to get their work done and being able to leverage all these tools. And it really just lends well to the operation that we have, and that we're flying drones all day long, and so it's hopefully helping them just to do a better job and to be as efficient as possible.
Well, Vanessa, we appreciate your time today. We thank you for choosing Zybex and becoming a part of the Zybex family. Thank you for trusting us at your center, and we look forward to continuing to work with you all, hopefully for many more years. And for all of those that are watching this video, we appreciate your time. We hope to be able to work with you on your current or future center. And if you have any questions or would like to know more about our product, please feel free to reach out.